The symbol for modern medicine is a pole with two snakes intertwined around it. And what's interesting is that some would say that the source of this symbol is actually from this week's Torah portion. See, when the Jews were complaining to God about the manna, the bread from heaven, so God sent venomous snakes to kill these ungrateful people. And Moshe began to beg God and beseech God and pray for the Jewish people to be forgiven. So God said, okay, what I want you to do is build a pole and have a copper snake attached to the top of it, and let the people look at this snake. And when they do, they'll be healed. The question is, if God wanted to heal them, just heal them. What's the whole big deal about having this pole with snakes, looking at it? For what reason? And God was sending them a message. And the message was that when you look at the snake, you'll think, I'm looking at the snake, the very cause of our death. The snake is the animal that actually brought havoc and destruction to the world from the get-go, when it caused Adam and Eve to sin and made them eat from the tree of knowledge and introduced death into the world. I'm looking up at the snake, and God says that's exactly my point. Snakes don't kill. Snakes don't cure. It is God. Look up the pole. Look beyond the snake. Recognize that your destiny and your healing is all supernatural. It all comes from God. And when we can look beyond the norm, look beyond our nature, we can connect to something that's greater than what's been dished out to us, possibly in the form of illness, unsatisfactory things, not good mazel, and recognize it all comes from Hashem, and it can all change in a moment. And there's a second lesson we can learn from this story. Like Moses, no matter how many times he was wronged, or he felt that the Jews were being ungrateful to him and to God, he always went back to God to ask forgiveness for the Jewish people. We also should not be rigid in forgiving people who have wronged us, especially if we know that it's going to possibly make them turn around as well. When you take the very snake that caused harm and use it to help you be cured, when the person sees that someone who's been so wrong is yet willing to forgive them, that itself should help them turn around and become a better person. Be easy to forgive, and recognize that if we are on the giving end, on the receiving end, that we are being forgiven by others, we should certainly use that opportunity to turn our lives around. So 3 lessons. Recognize that when we look up, it's not the snake who kills or cures. We're looking up to something far greater and beyond that, to God himself. And don't be rigid. Forgive. And if you are the one being forgiven, use the forgiveness as an opportunity to become a better person. Good Shabbos.